Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Table Talk, where we go deep on Euchre strategy and showcase play from the Reddit Euchre League. I'm your host, Tony Tasty, and our guest this week is the godfather of the league himself, Chach. Welcome aboard, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Tony. Appreciate it.
I'm also very excited to welcome on the show for the very first time King Lenny, hot off his run to the #1 spot on the Euchre 3D leaderboard. What an accomplishment, man.
Thanks. Thanks. Appreciate it. A lot of luck in that.
Sure, a lot of skill was involved too.
A lot of skill too. Yep.
Well, today we're looking at some hands from Chach's Week 6 league play. Um, why don't we jump right into them?
I do want to say one thing first.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So, no, I mean we'll talk about the league, but no, again, I appreciate you having me on here. And Lenny, like you said, you're going to do all the talking for being the expert. Was never my thing. I know we have a lot of different styles of play in our league and a lot of things going on. So I feel like overwhelmed sometimes because of the number of like leaderboard players and just great players we have in there. So sometimes I feel like, you know, maybe I'm not the maybe I'm out of my league sometimes, but in playing with the people that we've played with, like for the last couple seasons, it's definitely made me a better player. And you know, I know I don't know how many people that watch this or listen to this that are like up and coming. Um, but I'm not the biggest person to give advice to, but if I did, I would give some advice in my own way. So according to these hands, so like the first one I know we're gonna play, um, I'm just gonna give my little bit of advice as we go. So I'm just gonna say, so you can play the first one and I'll I'll go from there.
Okay, yeah. Here we go. And you're going to hear the commentary from the recording that night. So, um, yeah, the other voices you hear are not in the chat with us right now, but they were commenting on this game live.
Possible loner call, but since they're up 4, it's an easy call. Pick your
Roll the
poison.
9.
I like the queen.
Queen can take a trick.
Depends what lady throws all the time. She throws hearts a lot. Toss a heart.
Play off.
Yeah, I'm ducking.
Hit it. Oh.
Oh. Guarded something's in trouble.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's an ouch.
Yeah, the discard was just the bad luck there. Look, a partner had 2. No, just the one.
He would have.
So let's look at the hand laid out here. Ooh, tough to get set when a left-hand opponent has a farmer's hand like that.
It is. And one of the reason I picked that hand is, no matter what your skill level is, you're gonna trust yourself. You're gonna make calls. You're gonna go alone. You're gonna get set. Um, People are gonna over trump you. But the worst thing you can do is to set yourself, in my opinion. And in this case, Lenny, I don't know if you spotted my mistake.
I did not. I did not.
The only thing I would have
to me,
done different is throw the longer suit away instead of the shorter one. I agree with Lefty's call to dump the Queen of Hearts as opposed to the
100%.
9 of Spades. Okay, all right.
100%. That's exactly where I was going with that. It's like, and anybody that like knows me, like I will make some crazy plays. Like I'll go alone with 2. I've gone alone with 1. I will, I will get set on them. It doesn't phase me. Hands like this, where it's like it comes down to just throwing the right card. Like these are the ones that would keep me up at night. Like why didn't I throw the other card away? Why didn't I throw the queen away? And
the queen's
that's
right
that's
on
why I
the
selected
edge,
this one.
in my opinion. Though, my rule is if it's a king, or sorry, if it's a queen or lower, I will throw away the longer suit and keep the shorter suit. But if that queen's a king, I'm keeping it and still getting set, just like you did, right?
Right now, yeah, now I tend to do opposites because it was a club call, right? So a lot of times I've noticed like people throw opposite color, like they're going to throw something red. So that would have been my case for dumping the queen, just because
Right, because that's what
if
you
they
do
did
in
throw the
first
queen,
seed is you lead your longest suit, or you lead your shortest
so
suit that is one of the longest suits based on what
if
trump
I'd
is.
have been paying better attention, I would have anticipated them to throw the queen and, or I'm sorry, to lead a red card. So that's why I would have
Yeah,
thrown away the queen and had an opportunity to trump it. So, but I
Yeah.
did not, because I was not paying attention and it cost me. So I and I know I was playing with some combinations with that, and had I kept the 9, there was some combinations where, okay, depending on, it's hard to predict what people will do, but there was some situations where I found out, okay, we would have made this one. There was still situations where I would have got set, but playing that one exact card the way it did, it was over in three tricks.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Partner didn't have a ton of help for us. This is an easy pickup all day, every day. Right king and a green ace. We just, we lost the small edge in making the wrong discard, and sometimes that's all it takes. Any
Yeah.
thoughts, Lenny?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was going to say, I did play it out. If you had kept the 9, and it seemed like your partner's heart doubleton might have pulled you out, saved you for the point. I just have a hard. I know it's the I know it's the longer suit, and I get that play. I make that play very often. I have a hard time. Just there's no value in the 9 of spades, and there's at least a little bit of value
Yeah,
in the Queen of Hearts.
the queen does beat 2 other cards,
Yeah,
but but the drawback is,
yeah.
what you just
Oh
saw.
no. Yep,
So
yep,
the
and
9, while it doesn't beat anything, it's almost like having half a void in your hand,
yep, yep,
which in this
um,
case is more valuable than beating 2 low cards in a long suit.
yep. That's true. I mean, that's how it played out. Um, but I want to mention, great job. I think it was Llama coming back with the another heart, kind of forcing you to duck there, and then when you played that Queen of Diamonds, I want really shout out to Oilers for pouncing on that and bringing the diamond back.
Yeah, they hammered us. They
Yeah,
Yeah,
really did.
the opposition played it well too. That was
yeah, that's what I mean.
crucial.
I want to point out those that the second and third street leads were spot on.
Yeah, and Chach is beating himself up for getting set here, but you got to give credit to the opponents here. They played it just
Mhm.
Oh,
right.
absolutely. No, yeah, no, they got us, but
You want to talk about the next one?
of course.
So I don't even think we need to watch the playback of this next one, because this is a donate, and for the uninitiated, a donate is when you intentionally order something up knowing you're going to get euchred to prevent the opposition from going alone and getting 4 points. So you're losing 2 points instead of 4 points in this situation. It's typically done from the first seat, and Chach sniffed this one out right away. The jack of clubs was up, dealer is on his right, and Chach knows he can't stop a loner in clubs, and so he sends it up, and this is the dealer's hand: Jack, Jack, King of Trump, and Ace Queen off.
Yeah, I have no shame in my donate game. um, yeah, and we've had a ton of discussions on this, and everyone says, oh, you can't go alone at certain scores. I'm going alone at any score. And part of this, like I said, I have no problem with donating, but it also has to do like a credit to Llama, because you guys know Llama. Llama is like one of the greatest players that I've experienced. I'm giving him his props, because I also told him, like, I gave him a chance to come on here to to talk about this hand, because he was cursing me, because I did this to him actually a couple weeks ago, in a different set. I donated, called him up, and the donate stopped his loaner. But that was part of my next little tip here, is part of my game. You're playing great players. Sometimes you just got to be like predictably unpredictable at times. And part of my game plan in this particular game was, I'm not going to give him any momentum, because Llama's a great player. He's aggressive. He will go alone. He will take any opportunity to just hammer you with points. And one of my best defenses there was to just not give him that. So I think the first one, if that's the first one, we were up 4-0.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to donate from ahead for sure. Would you make the same call if you were down 4-0?
I have. I don't do it often. I have done it before. I've donated at 0-0 before. You can ask Christy about that one. Just because, it doesn't matter the score to me. But usually, and Lefty makes a comment in the video at some point. He said the app loves the app seems to love tie games, and you can get into the debate about it being rigged or whatever. But there are some predictable things, things going on with the situations. But you see a lot of loners on 0-0. You see a lot of loners at 4-0. 6-2, 7-3. Obviously, when there's 6, like, you need to be thinking donate. But yeah, just with the hand I had and just knowing Llama, it was an easy call. Just because I needed to manage the score in that situation. But the crazy thing is, during that series, I did it like 3 more times, just to throw them off. And if that worked, then I did my job. Because there was another one where it was 3-0, and then not in this particular set that we're talking about. Actually, in one of the other games, I donated. I think I might have called up Stu or like one of the two. But it backfired because I still blocked Llama because he was my partner and he had the loner. But we actually got points out of it though, so that was good.
You make a good point that donating is a tool that should not be used by new players or against new players. It's definitely something
absolutely not.
you want to reserve for when you're playing against people that will go alone a lot, often, and on anything. Certainly more
sometimes
effective
you just
against
got to go
players like
against
Llama.
Yep. Sometimes you got to go against the grain and.
Lenny, you like this donate up
playbook.
4-0?
Do I like it? Yes. This is a hole in my game. I absolutely would not donate here. And that's not a knock or anything. Obviously, you made the right call. I have a hard time donating, and I know that, and that's part of my game that I want to improve. But yeah, up 4-0.
Easy ones to do are 4-0, and then obviously, I know you're going to donate when it's like 9-6, but the hardest ones to do are those early ones. But sometimes, like, I'll just go through when I'm playing. Like, I'll like, if I have a total like farmer's hand and a jacks is up, I'm thinking, you know what? I try to predict them. Like this guy's going to go alone, or you don't want to give up the 4 points. Can I afford to give up the 2? Sometimes it's worth it. But yeah, it's definitely not something you want to do often, but just something to try to manage if you can.
So
I think this one was a great play, and I just like I said, that's a hole in my game. So I'm doing a poor job of giving you props on a great donate because this is a good donate.
Thank you. I can't imagine you have many holes in your game, Lenny.
Now this next one. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'd be dealing 4-4 here.
Fair enough.
So this next one is from the 3rd seed, and you can see again that we have stopped a loner here, right? Jack of clubs are up. We're in seat 3. We send it up, and this is about as close to a locked-in loner as you can get without being a laydown. Now, I've always understood it that typically it's the first seat's responsibility to donate if they can't stop a loner. But you're doing it here from 3rd. So can you talk a little bit about why you did that and why the custom is that it's done from the first seat typically?
From my understanding is, I mean, if the first seat has it blocked, they're gonna pass.
Right.
They're not gonna order it up.
So you don't believe that first seat has it blocked here?
Not that I didn't trust them, but again, I was just kind of going for. It was just part of my mindset for that game. Like I said, I was just being predictably unpredictable. Like I said, I was with Llama on that one. So it's like, not that I don't trust Llama, but I know at that score, you know, I just had a hunch that it was gonna happen again. You know, just being with that all red hand, because usually they say because I had a pretty decent red hand there, and they say if you
You've
got
got a loner,
a
someone else has
loner
a
in red,
loner.
somebody's gonna have a loner in black.
Yep.
You know, so that one I just kind of went for it and then happened to guess right.
And Llama, by the way, does the right thing, trusting you with your seat 3 call up. He leads Trump for you, thinking that you're just loaded in clubs when in reality you're just trying to prevent this dealer loner.
Yeah, I don't recommend doing it often, but I think I did it like 4 times in that series, just for the purpose of just causing a little chaos in there. But it seemed to work. So
Yeah. This one will get you no weight at the lower ranks for sure, but we definitely
yes,
stopped
sir.
one. Definitely stopped one here. Lenny, any thoughts about the third seat donate?
The note I made was again, Chacha already talked about it, but I'm not donating here. I'm trusting Llama, but that sounds like it was a donation as part of a strategy and not necessarily a completely situational. And then the note, it's you're up 3-0, so I understand why he made that move for sure.
All right, let's check out. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, so normally I'm very much against third seat donations, but what I do like about this donation is, let's say he passed and for some reason they were void clubs, right? Like they flipped over the jack. And you're not going to be a lot of help when Llama calls spades.
Right, Llama goes next. Our hand still sucks. Yep.
So maybe donating saves us the loner, but also if it's not a loner, they get 1 point. If they pass, they're probably getting 2 points anyway.
Right. Yeah, a lot to think about on this one for
I
sure.
agree. I agree.
All right, let's check out hand number 4. We'll watch this one play all the way through.
Yeah, it's just a tough beat.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know what Chacha's thinking about on that hand. This place is as bad as Trickster. When you make a mistake like that, makes you pay. Nobody can tell me otherwise.
Wow,
So
he's not leading Trump
I
back.
never see this in real life.
He's not leading Trump back.
Ooh,
He only has,
wow.
Uh-oh.
Which one do you keep? Yeah. Yeah. That was the right keep. Josh made up for it.
What an awesome keep there for the Euchre.
Thank you.
Tell me about your thought process there. You just assume he's got he's 2 suited going for that loner without the right?
Well, yeah. Here's the reason I picked that one. And like I said, a year ago, I probably would have screwed this hand up. So like one of the things that as I've been improving, you start to see things and the game kind of slows down a little bit. Because like I said, a year ago, I would have just played the, when you're doing basic loner defense, what do you do, right? Keep your best ace, right? This guy's got 4. What's your best stopper? I'm going to keep the ace of hearts. That's going to be my stopper card. I'm just going to shed all those diamonds because, they're all worthless. He threw the ace. They're all worthless. Then obviously as you progress, you realize, well, people aren't just going alone with 4 and something. It's some people are going to go 3 and they have the doubletons. And just something that, obviously it's just something you learn. I mean, people are going to say, oh, that's basic, but there was a time where people didn't know that, and I would have made that mistake a long time ago.
And this is a loner a
yeah.
new player never calls. Left queen 9, ace 9 off. someone in
Right, and
speak in
like I
terms
said,
of
it's
ratings, yeah, the 1900 level.
it's Stu, so you're not thinking, and I know Stu. I play with him a lot, and I think if he's calling a loner, like he's gonna get it. Like I'm scared right now. So
But his range
so
is wide, right?
it is. But like I said, he doesn't make too many mistakes. He's a great player. So when he threw that ace, instead of panicking, I saw the ace, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I've got my 3 aces in my hand. I'm thinking, okay, well, he's got to have another one. So, I'm just holding on to him. Fortunately, we got the left out and the ace out, so we had our 2, and then it came down to those last 2 cards, ace of hearts, and then the king. I mean, that was an obvious. It wasn't like a panic. I wasn't guessing. I'm like, that was an obvious. Okay, he's got to have the doubleton.
Yeah.
Throw the king on it. Like I said, a year ago, I probably would have threw the king because he already played the ace, and that's just that would have been a rookie mistake that would have made. I would have played the ace. So, but just because I saw that, and like I said, the game kind of slowed down a little bit. It was an easy. Once we had the 2, I knew we had the third one.
Very nice. Thoughts on this one, Lynn?
Yeah, it was a great play, absolutely great play. And I think, Tony, we talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
But Stu as dealer is more likely to be 2 suited than 3 suited, right? If Stu's calling that out of seat 1, I think that's a lot harder decision.
Right. Very good point out there.
But yeah, but also the fact that he's calling it on left queen 9 probably tells you he's 2 suited. So, but I have a question for Chach here, because the first thing that I noted when I watched this back was this hand seems very similar to the last hand that you donated.
Well, the difference is it's a
Some
queen up.
differences. Yep, queen up. There's a different score, but is it a gut thing on that? I mean, I know you didn't have the Bowers, but you were 3 suited, green ace.
Are you asking like why didn't I donate?
Yeah.
We were up on that one, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was
8-7. You guys
for the
were up.
win. Yeah, you guys were up 8-7.
Yeah, 8-7.
It's
Yeah,
tough
like
to
I
put
said,
them to 9, and you get the
Oh
dealer
yeah,
next to it. That's
I absolutely agree.
I think just the fact that if it was a jack, I probably would have considered it.
Mhm.
I guess the fact it was a 9,
queen.
I just kind of just let it ride on that one, and it worked out.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a good
And
nugget
then I guess
that you said earlier, that
yeah.
because it's from the dealer, they are more likely to be 2 suited because they can make a void.
hmm And I don't want to rag on Stu at all. Um, I think this is a great call, 8-6. It's still for the win, right?
That was
But
8.
you're playing for 4, and you only need 3. It's clear he could use some help. Maybe bring your partner on this one.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Looking
Oh,
at
no, you're right.
looking at first seat's hand though, does partner have any
Yep.
help?
I mean, he doesn't know that though, but
Sure. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. Sometimes if that's the way the game's going, I don't remember what was this. This might have been game 4, I think. I can't remember what game it was, but
Yeah.
just sometimes when things aren't going your way, you just want to make that splash play and go for it.
Oh, for
So
sure.
I don't
Yeah.
blame the call. I probably would
No.
have did the
No.
same thing.
Not at all. Sometimes you just got to try to steal one and get out of there.
Yep.
I guess I'm just trying to note, Loner's a 4-point play. It's a win, but you still only need 3. Maybe we don't need to stretch it. But a win's a win. So
Yeah. All right, let's check out hand number 4.
It would have been a great call either way.
amen.
Sorry, this is hand number 5.
Lefty.
Where'd Lefty go?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he left. Let's see. I guess it's just you and me, kid. Watching our people.
Yeah.
That was helpful.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Tough.
So I got to disagree with Christie's comment there that was helpful. It would have been helpful on the first trick.
Agreed. Yeah, they yeah, they got us on that one.
If partner
But
trumps in on the very first one, does it not go that way?
I think if you don't lose that, I think that that queen kind of killed us on the first one. Because honestly, with the cards I had in my hand, like that's a call I make 10 times out of 10. You know, I love those hands. It's something I've been doing a lot more of. And, you know, one of the things I believe in is if you're going to call something, call it with confidence. You know, if you got two and you think you can make it, call it. We were talking the other day about, suicide leads and calling with one. Um, like if you can make it, there's a chance it can work. So calling with two trump and two aces, I'm calling that 10 times out of 10. I just wasn't able to burn the trump like I wanted because they were hammering small angles.
Yeah, I'm a
But
little
I think if we
surprised
could have
first
got,
seat didn't fire up the 10 with left king queen. Count on your partner for one. I think this is an order from first seat. What do you guys think?
yeah, Jack. Unless he was, unless
Early
that
in
was a
the game,
defensive move.
it's loose, but yeah,
No, that's a pass.
that's pass for you, Lenny.
So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, because he's
I'm
coming back.
I'm really happy if he picks it up, but I'm feeling pretty good with right 10 and next with king of the turn down suit.
True.
Well, he would have had what left king queen on next, right?
No, he had left.
Yes. No, yeah, he had left king queen of the suit that was called. He would have had right
Oh,
10 of clubs if he
that's right,
calls
spades. Never mind.
next. Yeah.
Forgive me. I think he was set either way, so that was probably a smart pass.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I
looked out
think
for him.
Well, I
he's
don't know if
100%.
our partner trumps in on the first trick, don't we make this?
Lefty.
On the first trick.
Or sorry, maybe it's the second trick.
No, the
This
first one, the club, right?
Yeah, so he leads into partner's void here because he throws off, but he's got the right.
It's this 9 that killed it.
And then so later, this ace of diamonds will take a trick, but doesn't get to because he throws the right
He had to lead.
now instead of
Now he
earlier.
takes it. I don't
We
know.
might still be set because they're sitting on 2 trump. Yeah,
Yeah,
they got 4
they're
to
just
our
firing
1.
from both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Yeah, I
played
think
it
they
out
got
a
it.
few times, and the biggest change that I was hoping for was partner laying off the diamond. I think if you've laid off the first time, you've got to lay off the diamond, and that third street, and trust your partner to pick that one up because they clearly need your help, right?
Okay,
So
so not trumping
I'm
in
checking my
early. You
notes
want to
here.
trump in later.
I would not have trumped in. I still would have been euchred, but I would not have trumped in with the right on a 10 of clubs.
Yeah.
I'm not at that point. Nothing's happened. I'm thinking, okay, like maybe we can march. So I need to lay off of this.
Yeah.
But I'm also not playing the right on Third Street when the diamonds go around because that's where I have to trust my partner's call they have something, and they probably need help clearing on 4th Street.
Very good point.
True. Yeah, but my whole strategy was get rid of the trump on the first 2 or 3 tricks. That was just me trying to burn trump and promote the aces there. And like I said, they just hammered us from both sides and killed that killed that on the first one. So I think we're kind of stuck there. But I don't know. Do you have?
No.
You don't have the other one, do you?
I do.
The one I sent you.
Oh, the
I just wanted
this one.
the other.
Here's the hand laid out.
Is it that one?
This is
the
the
one
one
where
that Lenny said was pure chaos.
No, not that one. It was one I sent you. It was an extra one. But if you don't have it, that's fine. But like I said, I would just send it just in case people want to see it. Just the fact that, like I said, that 2 trump 2 aces. Some people think it might be just defensive call. I call all the time. Just it goes a lot more than people think. So it's like I'm not gonna turn that down. I'm still gonna call it. They happen to get us that time, but that's not gonna change the way I approach those calls.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, the chaos one, Lenny, this one's gonna be all you.
Well, I want to jump in
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick on the last one. Like, you guys did everything right. It just didn't work. I think it's the right call. I think it played out right up to a point, and then you were just stuck. There was nothing that you could do.
Agreed.
Yeah, and then it's just take your lumps and move on to the next one. But I do think I want to point out that it's the right call and it was played right. So
Sometimes just
don't if you're watching this, don't see this and say, okay, no, I can't do this. This is a hand you play, and you play it like this.
Hell yeah. All right, one
hand's not
more
gonna
real
play by the
fast,
book.
and then we'll wrap it up.
Oh,
On that.
I'm ordering this up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tony, can you pause it right there?
Sure can.
Okay, so let me take no, chat. Let me take a shot here. I thought the night it happened too, right? You are making a calculated play that Llama has the king, and you're keeping your boss in spades.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, I've seen that a couple times, and whenever I try to be like, oh, they're setting up their king, and I drop the queen, third C always has the king. But that's the play I thought you were making. You wanted to keep your ace boss, not get stuck at the end.
I've spent the last few weeks trying to fix that in my game. Not when I have an ace, but if I've got a doubleton and somebody leads it, I've been trying to train myself to throw the lower instead of the higher, so that it's boss later.
Right. Yeah. There's a strategy there, but that wasn't it. That was just kind of a brain cramp and fat fingers, whatever you want to call it. I should have thrown the ace on there, but I didn't. But lucky for us, this works.
The queen flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check.
I was just hoping he would catch that. And we were golden after that.
Yep, they're already voiding Trump, and that's an easy march.
So yeah,
well played.
I picked this one. Yeah, it worked out. But Lenny, you're the one that commented. You're the one that said tab this one, mark it for table talk. So you said there's like a lot of other chaos going on. So whatever you saw, this one's yours.
Okay. Yeah. So your queen rode, right? And so at that point, you're sitting on boss spade and jack ace, and you're kind of like, okay, let's go for the march, but you still need some help. So I think playing a lot of people are going to play the right, and I might be wrong with the numbers like you did. I'm probably playing the king of clubs there. hoping my partner can get that one because I feel a lot better about going
If
ace,
the
trump, right,
if these hands are
spade.
just a little bit different, though, if our partner doesn't have three, we ordered our partner up, so we have no idea they have
Yep,
three. If this 10 of
correct.
diamonds is in the place of this 9 of clubs, we're not getting the march if you lead the king of clubs back.
You're right, but here's my reasoning. He got to they got to make a void. So, and we know they have spades, so their void is either in hearts or clubs.
Mm. Okay, I
Um,
follow you.
and maybe it's one or the other, right? We talked about it earlier. Hopefully, it's the long suit. And but if it's not, then maybe they're rocking that ace of clubs. And so maybe we're not promoting their ace or making their ace stronger by drawing out trump. And like I said, I don't know if this is the right thing, but I think when you lay the king, you give your partner a chance to trump in or lay the ace. If you take out the trump, it makes their ace stronger. You take trump away from your opponents, but it only gives them one way to win your king, which is an ace, which you actually don't need them to do. All that said, pulling trump might pull trump from both opponents versus just one. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think playing the right's great. That's a good play too.
Well, it's going back to
That
what I
was
said. Oh, good.
no. I was going to move on. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say that's just again, chalk it up to I don't know if it's just personal preference, but it's a predictably unpredictable that sometimes works. Once that queen went, I didn't want to throw the ace again, I didn't want to throw the ace because I was anticipating trump.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of thinking, okay, well if they have trump, I'm going to throw the right just because
Clear it
what I
out.
what I hated was to throw the king and then just have one steal one, just because they did that on
Right.
the other hands.
Right.
The one that didn't work the last hand. They were just hammering us. So if they had any,
Mm-hmm.
they were gonna just take that king. So if I could clear one, um, that was my goal. But then we discovered that they were out
Mm-hmm.
after that.
Yeah.
So then it just kind of everything just kind of fell into place after that. So that was just kind of a gamble that went right.
No, and
But
Josh, that's not. It's not a gamble. It's just a different style of play because there are going to be times where playing the king is quote unquote the right move, and there are going to be times when playing the right is the quote unquote right move. It's just different styles. But I bet if we did the same, I bet your playing the right was the correct decision, if I'm being honest. So, but Third Street, wow. Let's talk about Third Street. Craziness. Okay, so Josh, you led the right, and you're like, this is awesome. They are completely void of Trump. You
okay,
once you see that they are void of Trump, you have to lead that ace. I know you want your partner to
Oh yeah.
take the club, but if your partner has a club, by laying the ace, you let them get rid of the club.
Good point out.
okay.
Yeah, you
No, no,
know
I,
this ace
I,
is
I
good.
don't just.
You got to
Yep,
see
you
more
know it's good.
That's
information.
my thing. I knew it. Like I knew it was good. So I mean, even if I throw the ace, what are they going to throw on top of it? What are the
Right.
odds that they're going to throw the ace of clubs out there? I think if anything, they're going to hold on to it. If they got it, they got it. I threw the club just because the only person that's going to have trump is Oilers, and if anybody's going to beat that, if they have the ace, they're going to have the ace. But if he's got a
Mm-hmm.
trump, I think he would know to take that, and that's what I was going for on that one.
Right, but
Right.
the point Lenny was making is if you throw your ace, you
Oh,
give your
yeah,
partner an opportunity to shed their club, thereby making the ace of clubs not good because then they can trump in.
got you.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
disagreeing. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that was my thought process, which,
Oh yeah.
like I said,
Yeah.
different styles, whatever.
Yep. You're
I
looking down and
I've been
saying, okay,
accused on
this is
many
where I.
occasions of making play.
Yeah. You're looking down and saying, this is where I need help. Here you go, P. Help me out. Perfectly good play. I like leading the boss to help out with their hand. But then let's back it up. Oilers laid the king of diamonds there. What are they doing there? You ordered up the king of diamonds. They've got 3 diamonds in their hand, and they are showing you the one you ordered them up. So in your mind, they are either out of trump or they have the right or left. I'm sorry, or the left, right? Like,
see, something like that. I don't even pick up when I'm playing live, you know. So
so
I just assume he had more than one.
Yeah, I mean, because that's
Well,
where
he
just
could
the
have
more
proved to you that he had more than one by throwing anything but the king.
right.
True,
Yep.
true.
That just says, "Yep,
Missed
you gave me the
opportunity for
king,
communication
and I
there.
still have it." Yep.
And I told you earlier, like, you know, the game slows down a little bit. Yeah, it didn't slow down enough. Like I was just completely obsessed with the fact that they were out of Trump, and that's all I was going with. You know, so I kind of didn't pay attention to Oilers' hand there. You know, but no, but you
We
guys are
got the
100% on
march
that
here.
one.
We could have just got it easier.
Yep. Yeah. No, it went great, and
well,
trying
I'm
to think
glad we
of
talked
Comment
about
there
that
for
one.
Orange Circle.
I was gonna cap us off, but that there's a lot of good.
That was good because I was
info in
watching
there.
because he just said there's all kinds of craziness. I'm like, okay, I just saw what I saw, so that's kind of funny that he pointed all that out. So that was awesome.
right. And then one other thing. Sorry, Tony. I know you want to cut
keep
it
going.
off.
No, go for it, man.
No. This is. Can you go to the screen where you have all the hands? And I'm probably doing the same. No, I'm definitely not doing the same thing.
I get that a lot.
When I look at Llama's hand, I see that it's not helpful at all in this hand. So I'm either laying my ace and praying, or I'm laying my 9 of clubs. The last thing I want to do is it didn't matter, but what happened is I don't want to lay my jack and have the queen ride. And now my king, if my king is boss, it's boss of an empty suit. I want to force that. I want to protect that doubleton till the end because I'm not playing for a euchre. I'm playing to stop the march. On the other hand,
so what's the lead you would have made from seat 1 here?
Probably, honestly, I probably would have gone 9 of clubs.
Yeah.
Because that's a weak ace. On the other hand, if I don't know, Spidey sensed that this was a weak call, I'm playing the ace because and this is just personal experience thing. There are so many times where I have a strong hand in third, and I just need my partner to play an ace to force a trump out instead of an opponent's trump versus me having to use my trump because they laid a jack of spades, but they have an ace in their hand. But he doesn't know that, so I think he's almost you almost play it like a loner, right? Like you almost go into loner events with the hand that he has. Am I talking crazy or just overthinking things?
No, those are good points, and you know.
And this is why you're on the leaderboard where you are.
That's right. That's right.
I got to be honest with you guys.
I'm
It's
not.
a lot.
I caught like half of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot easier on this screen, just staring at the cards, seeing everybody's cards, than trying to figure it out on your phone.
For sure. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and cap it off there. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Tony.